Cats are fascinating creatures with so many quirky and amusing facts that it's hard not to smile when learning about them. Did you know that cats spend around 70% of their lives sleeping? That's about 16 hours a day. While we might dream of such long naps, cats have a good reason for it. They're born hunters, and all that sleep helps them conserve energy for the hunt, even if the hunt is just chasing a toy around the house. Speaking of hunting, cats have an extraordinary sense of hearing. They can detect sounds that are up to 5 times more acute than what humans can hear. Their ears are so mobile that they can rotate in nearly every direction to pinpoint even the slightest noise. In fact, each cat ear has over 20 muscles responsible for these acrobatic movements. It's no wonder they often hear us coming before we've even entered the room. Here's another interesting tidbit. Cats aren't particularly fond of sweets. Unlike dogs or humans, cats lack the gene responsible for tasting sweetness. Instead, they prefer savory treats, especially anything that has a meaty flavor. So, if you've ever tried to offer your cat a piece of cake only to be met with disinterest, it's simply because they can't taste the sweetness. And did you know that each cat has its own unique meow, specifically for communicating with its owner? Cats don't generally meow to communicate with each other. They rely more on body language, like tail flicks or slow blinks, for that. But when it comes to talking to humans, they often develop a whole range of sounds to get our attention. You could say that cats have trained us well to cater to their needs. Another fascinating behavior in cats is called the Fleeman response. Have you ever noticed your cat curling its upper lip and opening its mouth slightly, almost as if it's smelling something particularly interesting? This is their way of intensifying certain smells. They use a special organ in the roof of their mouth, called the Jacobson's organ, to better analyze pheromones and other chemical signals. It might look a bit odd, but for cats, it's just another way to explore their world. Here's a real kicker. Cats can actually rub off on their owners. Yes, it sounds strange, but it's true. Researchers have found that cats tend to mirror the behavior of their owners. So, if you're a relaxed person, your cat might also be a bit more laid back. On the other hand, stressed or anxious owners might find their cats reflecting some of that tension. It's possible that your cat is, in some ways, a furry reflection of your own personality. A particularly endearing and curious fact is that many cats will have a conversation with their owners when they come home. They often wait by the door and meow, as if asking where you've been and what you've been up to. This meowing could be a form of greeting, or a little reproach for leaving them alone for so long. It's almost as if they want to share how their day went while you were gone. Another point that often amazes people is that cats have an incredible sense of balance. This explains why they can walk so gracefully on narrow ledges. Their tail plays a crucial role in this, acting as a counterbalance when they move. This also helps them twist in mid-air and land on their feet if they fall. This righting reflex is fully developed in kittens by the time they're about 7 weeks old. Pretty impressive, right? And if you think cats are just lazy because they lounge around so much, think again. Cats are incredibly agile and can jump up to 6 times their own body length in one leap. For an average house cat, that's about 8 to 10 feet. They can also reach speeds of up to 30 miles per hour in short bursts. That means they could almost keep up with the fastest human athletes, at least for a few seconds. Have you ever wondered why cats are so fascinated with boxes? It turns out that boxes offer the perfect combination of hide and seek and stress relief for cats. The confined space of a box gives them a sense of security. much like the tight spots they would hide in if they were in the wild. The walls of a box provide protection from all sides, putting the cat in a tactical position, ideal for pouncing on the next unsuspecting toy or your toes. Something else that's fascinating. Cats have an extraordinary memory. It's believed that they can remember important things, like routines and experiences, for years. This applies to both positive and negative experiences. So, if your cat knows it's fed at 7 a.m. every day, it won't forget that routine easily and will remind you if you do. A funny yet little-known fact is that cats might see their owners as big, clumsy cats. They understand that we're not perfect hunters and can't move as swiftly on all fours as they can. But that doesn't make us any less important in their eyes. They're just patient with our shortcomings and might even try to teach us a thing or two. Another curious cat trait is their love of kneading. You've probably seen a cat push its paws in and out against a soft surface, like a blanket or even your lap. This behavior is called kneading, and it's something they start doing as kittens while nursing. As adults, they do it because it brings them comfort and reminds them of the safe and warm feeling of being with their mother. It's one of those quirky things that makes cats so endearing. Did you know that cats have a remarkable ability to find their way home, even over long distances? This phenomenon, known as east-eye trailing, is still not fully understood by scientists, but it's thought that cats use the Earth's magnetic fields or the angle of the sun to navigate. There are many stories of cats traveling hundreds of miles to return to their owners, showing just how strong their homing instincts can be. And while we're talking about their amazing abilities, cats also have a very strong sense of time. They know when it's time to eat, when you're usually home from work, and when it's time to play. They may not be able to read a clock, but they have an internal sense that tells them when things should happen. If you ever notice your cat sitting by the door, waiting for you just before you get home, that's not a coincidence. They've timed it perfectly. Another fun fact, cats can make over 100 different sounds compared to dogs, who only have about 10. This wide range of vocalizations includes everything from purrs and meows to hisses and growls, each serving a different purpose in communication. It's no wonder that cats often seem like they're having a full-on conversation with us. Here's a surprising one. Some cats are allergic to humans. Just like how some people are allergic to cats, the reverse can be true as well. It's not very common, but it does happen. The allergic reaction is usually triggered by human skin cells, but don't worry, it's usually mild and your cat won't need to avoid you. Have you ever noticed how some cats are particularly fascinated by running water? This is because, in the wild, running water is usually fresher and safer to drink than stagnant water. That's why many cats prefer drinking from a dripping faucet or a pet fountain instead of a regular bowl. They're just following their instincts. Finally, let's talk about cat whiskers. Whiskers aren't just cute, they're incredibly sensitive and serve as a cat's radar system. They help cats detect objects, even in the dark, and measure the width of openings to see if they can fit through. Cats have whiskers not just on their faces, but also on the backs of their legs, which helps them navigate tight spaces and judge distances accurately. All these quirky behaviors and fascinating traits make cats such wonderful and intriguing companions. Whether they're curling up on your lap, chasing after invisible prey, or simply observing the world with those big, curious eyes, there's never a dull moment with a cat around. They may be mysterious, independent, and at times a bit aloof, but one thing is for sure, cats have a special way of making our lives richer, funnier, and much more interesting. For more videos, please like and subscribe.